What's going on, YouTube? It's Sensei, place to be chilling, Mr. A&D. Back to give you guys another Raw review for October 5th, 2020. And, of course, we are now on the fast track to Hell in a Cell, coming up a couple more later this month. Raw was, there was something that happened that I liked, but it was still just a mist of a lot of bullshit. And we start off again because Randy Orton starts off the show. He's in the backstage area somewhere, talking about he didn't leave Clash of Champions with the title, but he left in the ambulance. But he doesn't remember the ride too much. He got choked into a table, attacked by Christian, super kicked by Shawn Michaels as Ric Flair drove him off, And then he said, felt nothing but darkness and pain. But now, McIntyre stands in the ring with his mentors, and he's sitting there with a title he doesn't deserve because of all the help he got from his mentors. And he had to do what he had to do and take out the Legends last week with the whole thing when they came backstage. And he told our Legends, hey, say hi to Edge from me. But now, for Legend Killer, he wants to take on Drew McIntyre for one more time inside Hell in a Cell. Once again, for those who know me, I've said this on this podcast, on my podcast plenty of times before. I do not like the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I do not like how they had to put Hell in a Cell down to just one event a year, and I think it's completely dumb to do that, especially when different events deserve a Hell in a Cell match to blow off the feud. But no, we got to get like 3 of them, which is going to be redundant on Hell in a Cell, which means one match does not feel special like the other ones do. But neither here or there. Drew comes in there, and then him and Randy Orton start brawling. So that I guess that's the answer to Drew McIntyre. I mean for Randy Orton's challenge. First match of the night, we get 6-woman tag: Selena Vega and Lana and Natalya take on Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Asuka. So this is the match was pretty much nothing. Lana gets taken down with a knee by Mandy Rose, and they pick up the win for them. After the match, the music hits. Here comes Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax coming down. Selena Vega gets out the ring. Natalya tries to fight them all, but they hit Natalya, and then we get for 3 times out of 4 weeks, Lana gets attacked by Nia Jax and gets Samoa drop through the announce table. This is an ongoing thing every single week. This is Lana paying for the sins of Miro in AEW. It has to be. They keep putting his wife through the announcer's table every single week by Nia Jax. It's ongoing thing that's coming on. I'm telling you, this right here is just crazy. It really is. The draft is coming up on Friday on SmackDown, and then next week on Raw also. Those are going to be the 2 days of the draft. We get a R-Truth segment for the 24/7 Championship, which actually did not bother me too much. They was holding their own little mock draft, him and little Jimmy. And then a masked guy appears in a janitor outfit. He said, Randy Orton? And then, it was a janitor last week, so I thought that was actually pretty cool. And then they take off, but before he takes off, Truth runs into something, and then the guy pins him. It turns out to be Drew Gulak. So Drew Gulak now wins the 24/7 Championship. So this is not the last time we're going to see this tonight. Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, and the Power Cruise are talking about how they defeated the Hurt Business last week. And then MVP says, look, with the draft coming up, I don't know why you worry about red or blue. You need to be worried about the black and gold, because there's one spot open. And Cedric kept saying no, but he finally joined. And you want to be on the opposite side of a beatdown. He said, because business is booming. But then Apollo said, we not even going to think about joining her business. And then him and Ali leave. But Ricochet looks back a little bit, kind of like he was concerning MVP's offer. Seth Rollins and Murphy taking on Dominic Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo. These are the 2 things that bothered me, and it was back to back. The Hurt Business, in my opinion, is one of the positives of 2020. It's one of the positives of the pandemic era, and so is MVP. but you have got to move them away from Ricochet, Apollo Crews, and Ali. That shit is done. Likewise, Dominic Mysterio showed off that he can be pretty good, but you have got to let the Seth Rollins and Murphy thing die. It's redundant now. The story should have been over. And once again, the only reason I keep doing it this long is because there's nothing for Dominic to do after this stuff is over. After it's over, there's nothing for him to do. Put him in NXT or something like that. But now they got the whole Mysterio family involved just to keep Dominic on the main roster. But there's nothing, and you're going to squeeze all this juice out till there's no more. There's nothing left in there, and that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's happening now, and we're in this. We're in this, and then Humberto's career ain't win no matches, so we get Murphy catches I think Humberto with a big knee in the midair, and then he covers for the pin and surprise as Rollins watches, and then Murphy's music hits and Rollins look like he's a little upset by him taking the ring, stuff like that, but Rollins and Murphy got a little back and forth thing that's going on. Happens next. Braun Strowman is overall underground happened tonight for the second week in a row. He's a SmackDown superstar. Who would have thought it? And there's nothing for him to do tonight. So don't be on Raw. But anyway, he says he got to be on Raw. He's saying that he wants an exhibition match. It's going to be an exhibition match, so it doesn't count between the win-loss. And then there's nobody who wants to acknowledge it. But then Keith Lee walks up and says, sign me up. So we're going to have a Keith Lee versus Braun Strowman exhibition matchup. I'm like, well, great. So they don't want Lee to lose yet, but they don't want him to win against Strowman because they're trying to make Strowman look even stronger after the Roman Reigns thing. So this thing is a whole mess. It truly is a whole mess. Backstage, Seth Rollins goes up with Murphy, and then he said he wants him to apologize, and he said Murphy's the one who needs to apologize, so I'm gonna give you to 10 p.m. tonight to go out to the ring and then apologize to me. Kevin Owens has a KO show, and then he doesn't want an introduction. He said, look, I don't care about who you got, Alexa Bliss brainwash and all that kind of stuff like that. I said I don't know what other people you're going to encounter, or spiritual, because you got Aleister Black, where's going to be the Brood, the Ministry of Darkness and stuff like that. But he says, no, I want to fight. I want you to come out to the ring right now. And then Bray Wyatt comes up on the screen, sings a terrible rendition of Friends. How many of us have them? And it wasn't that hard to sing Houdini, but Bray Wyatt made that song sound terrible. And then he says, well, look, you keep calling him out, you're going to get what you want on SmackDown. And then he says, it finds out that if you're not coming to the ring, then I'm going back there to find you. So Kevin Owens goes back. I never seen the follow up if Kevin Owens found the Firefly Funhouse, which he didn't. But as he goes up, Aleister Black comes out of nowhere, attacks him again, and it gives him a black mask right on the stage, which shows that we are not done with Aleister Black and KO just yet. And I'm like, okay, well, build to it. Have a good feud. You can have a mid feud and end this feud yet, but they have done nothing to it. It's this feud between Aleister Black and Kevin Owens to Raw has been an afterthought. So Charles Caruso is backstage, and then Drew McIntyre accepts Randy Orton's challenge for Hell in a Cell to make it to be confirmed. This will be Randy Orton's 8th time inside Hell in a Cell, 7th or 8th time inside Hell in a Cell. Exhibition match, Braun Strowman takes on Keith Lee. The match is a complete dud because at Braun Strowman knocks Keith Lee through the barricade, and they get counted out. Braun Strowman curses out the referee saying it's an exhibition match, you moron. Which I'm like, what was even the point? Keith Lee gets up as Braun Strowman's walking away. Then they go up on the stage. He throws Braun Strowman to the stage, and they both fall off the stage into like a pile of tables and equipment and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, what was the point? What was the point? And I'm like, well, it was like you could have had a good exhibition match. Keith Lee has not only won 2 matches since being on Monday Night Raw. He beat Randy Orton clean at Payback, and he beat Dolph Ziggler into the triple threat match, and everything else has been disqualification or countout. This is Keith Lee, folks, on the main show. Time for Bianca Belair. Let's see. When we first did it, she was the strongest. Then she was the fastest. Now she's showing how she is the smartest. So she is gathered with some of her girlfriends, which clearly are not her friends at all. And then she was just like, okay, well, they're doing game night, and she just started going off all these random history facts, stuff like that, and they're annoyed by her. And then they walk off, and Bianca rolls her eyes because she's the smartest. So that's the EST. Maybe next week we get the toughest, funniest. I don't know what else they're going to bring in there, but right now these things start to become a joke. How about we put Bianca Belair in the ring? You got Selena Vega and Lana out there week after week, and then Selena Vega ain't doing too much anything. She need to go back to Andrade, but I'm not saying I don't like Selena Vega. I love Selena Vega, but Lana keep getting put through an announce table, so there's nothing going on right now. I'm like, put Bianca Belair in the limelight. Just saying. 24/7 championship. Drew Gulak is running around backstage, and he's hiding in this garb. He's hiding, and then R-Truth comes up from this garbage pit behind him, and then comes out, gives him, and then as he's running, he trips over this trash can, which happens to have Akira Tozawa in the trash can, which is funny. And they say you, and then he showed a back toss. R-Truth showed a back tosses Drew Gulak into the dumpster. They all fight, and Akira Tozawa's in there. But R-Truth is the one that comes out with the I'm about to say it like him, the 24/7 championship, beginning his 42nd reign, and runs away with the title. So, my goodness. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin taking on Apollo Crews and Ricochet. Ricochet comes out, and then he says, look, I know you gave us to the end of the night or the end of the week to come with our decision, but I got one for you right now. That's going to be a pass. We're not going to do that, man. See, you see how I did that right there? I said, I'm like my boy LeBron James. I hit it with a pass. I was like, oh, Ricochet. I love Ricochet. Okay, Ricochet is great in-ring wrestler, but Ricochet is, he is cringy when he's on the microphone. Cringy. I'm like, yeah, you probably should go to the Hurt Business to have MVP talk for you. But he is very cringy on the microphone. But MVP says, yo, make this, hurt him. This is the guy you need to hurt. So, the bell rings, and then we get a simple tag team matchup. They don't even put the punishment on Ricochet like MVP was telling them to do, because they Bobby Lashley makes Apollo Crews tap out to the Hurt Lock after a spine buster. And on the outside, Ricochet and Bobby Lashley and Mustafa Ali talk about, so you keep knocking us down, we're going to keep coming. And Shelton Benjamin laughs. Like, end this shit. There's so many things else you can do with the Hurt Business. You can end this right now. Have one more member join. And then, like I said, you could have a member of 5 guys, but you need to have some women up in there also. Had a join and move on to something else. I know they're probably going to try to move on to Retribution. But then once again, you try to build Retribution, so you don't want to knock down Hurt Business. So we got more DQs coming, but we'll get into that later. Murphy's backstage, and then we see Aaliyah Mysterio, and she's waiting to talk to him all night. He wants to apologize to her again, but she says, and Seth has gone too far, and he says, it's not Murphy's fault, but you need to worry about Seth. Is he really? And she asks if you're considering an apology for Rollins. He says he doesn't know, but he only got 12 minutes left. So, the Hurt Business is backstage, and then they see Mustafa Ali, and MVP wants to bring Bobby Lashley with him to the ring, because when he's done, MVP is going to start on the other two. So, if Ali storms off because he got a match with MVP tonight, figures. Okay, because you can't separate these guys whatsoever. This reminds me of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn from 2017, 2016. They just could not stay the fuck away from each other. And give us a break, because you're going to make me hate the Hurt Business before, I really start repping on how good they are. Seth Rollins comes out to address Murphy, and he says, I want you to apologize, as he grabs his beard, which I have a daughter who be grabbing my beard all the time, and that little baby grab hurts. But I'm talking about just grown man grabbing your beard like that, man. Talking about some apologize. Messiah, disciple. But Murphy's not taking it as he drops Rollins and starts beating him up on the floor, grabs a kendo stick and starts hitting Rollins and telling him that he wants him to apologize. And he apologizes to him. He apologized to Aaliyah Mysterio that she was supposed to be in this. As soon as Murphy lets his guard down, Seth Rollins comes back up on Murphy and he starts beating up on Murphy. And then Dominic starts coming down, and then Seth Rollins books it along with the whole Mysterio family. And then everybody heads backstage. Oh, whoop-de-doo. This thing will not end. Anyway, we got a match that was supposed to happen at Clash of Champions happen here on Raw for the women's tag team championships. The Riot Squad taking on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. The match was okay. It didn't go but so long, but Ruby Riott, give her props, did a good job of selling. She took a beating in this matchup, especially with Shayna Baszler. And then Shayna Baszler gave her that knee that she gave to Bayley, knocked her out, and then put her in the Caribou clutch. And then she was tapping out, but then she kind of passed out. So Liv Morgan was going to check on her partner and everything. It was a decent matchup. And, it was actually a more competitive matchup than I thought, but Ruby Riott gets to start for, doing her selling and stuff like that tonight, so I thought it was cool. Mustafa Ali versus MVP again. So, once again, we're back with the Hurt Business with the whole circle of Ricochet, Apollo Crews, and Mustafa Ali. And as the bell rings, they go ahead and then MVP tries to slam Ali, give a quick 2 count. Ali groups, and then before the match even really gets started, the Retribution lights start going off, and then Retribution shows, and then Ali turns, and, it's like he's gonna ride with the Hurt Business to go get Retribution. I was like, maybe Ali's the one that turns to the Hurt Business. I was half right. So Ali goes outside to face Retribution like 1-on-1. I'm like, oh, he about to show him that he part of Hurt, but then he turns around and then just points and shows that he's aligned with Retribution. Not only that, he's the leader. So, they go in there and they attack the Hurt Business. They start beating them down and everything. Ali's just sitting there, just standing, just looking at it. And we got the whole May Slapjack T-Bar beating over Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP. And Ali goes and gets into the ring and holds up the hand as he has it, and Ali is the leader of Retribution, which we did kind of call. There's a couple things, I heard Brian Zane make this on Wrestling with Regret when I was watching his Raw review earlier, and he was saying it's funny how you get this Muslim cop who is trying to bring diversity and trying to show help the diversity for Muslim wrestlers in the ring, who joins a group which is a clear spinoff of how certain people think the BLM or the Antifa stuff has been going on in the streets of how they are, and it's just so ironic that that's kind of happening, stuff like that. Like I said, I was not a fan of the theme of what Retribution was trying to play off, because I'm not stupid of what it was trying to be or what it was trying to show off, whatever the case may be. And saying, like I said, it's very insensitive, which Vince McMahon is very racially insensitive. And now with the match, it makes him look even more stupid and ridiculous. Having Ali turn heel though, and then maybe going with the hacker and controlling the lights and stuff like that, maybe now it'll all kind of make sense. But if that's the case, that means, do we get more of the Hurt Business versus Retribution? Technically, because Ali's in charge. Where does that leave Ricochet and Apollo? Because now, if Ricochet was really contemplating going, I would go to Hurt Business now. I don't want to be on that side of the beatdown right now. I wouldn't want to go to Retribution either. But this could be Ali's for Retribution, so I'm curious to see how they're going to do it. I'm glad they didn't run into the ground like they did when Cedric first joined the Hurt Business, and we had to go and blow off that Ricochet Cedric match that night and stuff like that. I'm like, no, we just let it marinate so people can talk for a week, and then we can come back and let everybody know how we feel about it. We're getting ready for the main event, which is a 6-man tag match of Drew McIntyre and the Street Profits taking on Randy Orton, Robert Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. So Robert Roode's back. Finally got his haircut back and everything. Good matchup by all the teams here. Things break down as Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore to Dolph Ziggler. Well, after Dolph Ziggler hits a Famouser on Montez Ford. Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore. Dawson going to take them over the ropes. Then Robert Roode runs in, and then he runs the ropes against Claymore by Drew McIntyre. But then as Drew McIntyre does a kip up, as soon as he turns around, he gets an RKO out of nowhere, which he takes it on his knee like Kane does. Like, he don't take that full bump. And then Randy Orton pins the champion. He pins him. So I guess this is their reasoning and their excuse of saying, well, Randy Orton deserves another title shot, which he clearly don't, because he lost on pay-per-view like 3 straight times. You need to get in the back of the line, but since there's nobody else and they're trying to build up to the championship right now, well, then I guess that's what's going to have to be. So that Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode win the matchup. And that's what it is for Raw, folks. So for me, guys, Raw gets a failing grade, but however, I will give props to the Mustafa Ali turning heel and going to Retribution. I want to see how that whole thing plays out. The 24/7 stuff actually was pretty decent to me also this week, but other than that, Raw does not get a passing grade from me this week. I did not really enjoy. You gotta break up Hurt Business and the Apollo Crews and Ricochet stuff. You gotta separate them. It's like you gotta separate Dominic Mysterio and Murphy and separate. Yeah, all these storylines that got going on, you have got to separate them apart because it's getting too redundant to the point where every time I turn on Raw, this is what it's going to be. But that's my thoughts. So post in the comments down below. How do you guys feel about Monday Night Raw and what's been going on? How you guys like the Mustafa Ali heel turn? Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed my reaction. Hit this, enjoy my review, and hit the subscribe button for more WWE content right here on NC Studios. So once again, this is NC place to be. Children, staying D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.